Hey guys, Slayer here. Today we have the brand new exotic mission Star-Crossed from Season of the Wish. Upon completion, you get your hands on this beautiful Wish Keeper strand bow, which is craftable. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to spank that like button and subscribe because Ty1slayer creates educational content all the time. First things first, you're going to want to make sure you're up to date on the seasonal quest line, because after you talk to Crow, you're literally going to get a quest. Complete the Star-Crossed mission. That'll be your go-to to head on over to the helm and access it. Now, this is our second exotic mission walkthrough, and quite honestly, I think this one was far better than Season of the Deep's one. Oh, let's get into it. This will be a solo guide as well. If you're in a team, you'll just have, some time sinks. It'll be much faster in certain areas. Other than that, you can easily do it solo as well. Now, immediately, once you're in here, take a minute to enjoy the scenery, my friends. It actually looks very beautiful in here. Now, if you shoot these little things, they kind of open up and you can kind of jump towards them as well, if you're not on the Warlock gang. But follow our pathing here. And we get a beautiful first secret chest. Was there even any secret chests in Season of the Deep's exotic mission? We'll probably speed it up here, but you're just going to traverse forward. If you move too fast, you would have missed the secret chest. But if you follow our pathing here, there'll be a way to drop down. As you'll see here, and voila, secret chest. Now, this is my first weapon, one of these Vex weapons. I'm not sure if they're dropping in any other activities. Someone could let me know down below. But this is the first one here, and then we got one at the end for completion as well. So not sure if you can only get them in the mission now, and then maybe once you've got it, at least once, then it'll drop elsewhere. Only time will tell. Nonetheless, you know you've reached the end when you finally found some enemies. Just take care of them, and then you'll proceed to an open area. Now, after you're done taking in the scenery, you proceed forward on a linear path. You'll see this beam of light. These will be the buffs you will get in order to actually be able to DPS the mini-bosses. Buff is actually called Seer's Obligation. Now, it does last for around 45 seconds, so it should be more than enough time to kind of DPS the mini-bosses. That's the main mechanic for this first section here. Once you do that, you will proceed on forward. And take note of these symbols. If you guys remember the last Wish raid, these are the symbols, so do keep in mind for this next encounter up ahead. Now, from these symbols top to bottom will be the order in which you need to defeat the mini-bosses by getting that Seer's Obligation buff again. They can either spawn on the far left of the map, somewhere around the middle, or the far right. Do not know if there's any other spawn locations, but these were our spawns. Once you do that, you will proceed forward. Now, once you're here, we have a new buff, Dam's Gift. Getting this will allow you to traverse these orange areas without taking any damage. You make your way through there and watch for the blocks. Now, once you're on over here, you have 3 little, like, pyramid symbols here. There's 3 different areas you have to actually go to and defeat Hydras. Once you do all 3 of those, that gateway will open. Again, it's another time sink area. If you're in a team of 3, each of you guys will take one side and you'll be done quick. Otherwise, solo, just take your time, because if you wipe, you will have to start from the beginning again of this area. Now, once you destroy these wyverns here, the little dome protecting which you have to interact with will be gone. You'll do that for all 3 areas. After that, you will proceed through another traversal area. Now, once you've did them all, back at the center you will have another wyvern to fight, as well as a bigger minotaur-looking enemy to defeat as well. So do be careful here, because remember, when you wipe, you will have to repeat the process again from the beginning. Nonetheless, once you finally defeat the enemies, move on through the portal, and we'll proceed through a traversal area. Do watch out for the sliding blocks that go in and out, can knock you off right off the map. Grapple, strand grapple help here. Otherwise, Icarus dash, heat rise, float. Again, just take your time through there. Once you're at the end, you will find some more enemies to kill, and then we'll be on to the second to last part of this exotic mission. So far, at this point, it's exotic mission. I'm liking it. It's pretty fun. Definitely 10 times better than Season of the Deep's exotic mission. If you guys enjoy these types of guides, do make sure you guys share the videos and leave a comment about what you enjoyed the most. We'll be doing an updated one when it's Catalyst time, though, so do be on the lookout for that. Keep traversing forward on a linear path, more enemies to defeat along the way. Once they're defeated, you'll be in an open area. You have access to 2 buffs again. You have the Seer's Obligation. That one just allows you to deal damage to those taken enemies. We also have a new buff, the Crowned by Dragons, which is the Seer's and Dam's Gift in one, allowing you to traverse those orange areas as well as actually deal damage to the taken enemies. So probably when it's Catalyst time, there'll be some specific order you need to use those in. Solo, we just go for the Crowned by Dragons, take out all the enemies in order again. You'll find the door off to the left. You want to do those from top to bottom, to defeat the enemies in that order. Once you do that, you will be on to the boss fight, the final boss. You finally made it. Also, to note, when doing these areas, you still only have 45 seconds on the Crowned by Dragons buff. So when solo, things like your Well of Radiance, Cure Grenades, Restoration Effects, all that good stuff to keep your health up may be useful there in case the buff runs out and you're still in there and you can't get out in time. So do be mindful of your health in there. Whew, now that's done. Now we have a rally flag, and it's time to get it on like Dam's Gift. Alrighty guys, now for our particular run, We've got the buff over on the right side. There is 2 initially when you go in. I don't know why there's both, but you're better off with the Crown by Dragon, so you have both. And in here, you're actually getting ticked by damage too, so you do need to have the Crown by Dragon's buff. Now, when you take out these taken enemies here, like we've been defeating prior, the shields on the main boss actually go away. I don't think they regen. Maybe they do if you take too long, but throughout the encounter, they did not come back up, so it would be worth definitely taking rid of those enemies early, especially on legend difficulty. Now you're just gonna hold out on the onslaught. Occasionally, you could be detained by one of those little drones, like from the Vault of Glass raid. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward encounter. I like to stay by the buff as best I can. So for us on the right side, we have the Crown by Dragon's buff. There is a buff on the left as well. I don't know if they're random each run, though. But here was pretty good. Just work behind this wall from left to right. And just pressure the boss off. Finally, once you're finished, you have a chest for your troubles as well. With a clean cutscene afterwards, some more dialogue. But lo and behold, your Wishkeeper bow. Hope you guys enjoyed this little guide for the exotic mission. We'll be doing another one when it's Catalyst time. I'm assuming either in the next few days or on next weekly reset, we'll be able to start hunting for the Catalyst. So do make sure you ring that bell so you never miss the upload. Cutscene spoilers here.
I was not always a prisoner in the dream city. The Ahamkara were once free to roam its halls. That's where I met Taranis. And Taranis, unlike others, unlike me, cherished those who wished to him. Those who bargained with him were safe. It must have cost him. I found his restraint intriguing. And my art, my dreaming halls, my dance with the queen moved Taranis in turn. Together, we became the ebb and flow of the tide. Through him, I glimpsed a world without the tireless cycle of bargaining and feeding, of peace. Taranis invited me to his lair, a place where we couldn't be found, in the ontology of the Black Garden. My way of turning desire to woe faded for one rapturous moment. We made successes together. We built secrets together. And then came your great hunt of the Ahamkara. The Queen took my freedom under guise of protection. Taranis and I were forever separated. But we could still whisper to one another in the space between. At least until a king arrived and made a bargain I could not refuse. I became both king and dragon. I spoke with his voice. Taranis knew it. So he did the one thing our kind must never do. Grant his own wish at the cost of his existence. A wish to keep eggs out of harm's reach until someone could protect them. his wish keeper.